Welcome to the 21st day of Stitchmas, the 21st day of Advent. Now, I'm really excited to be sitting here to open my Advent calendars and to show you what I've completed and what are my plans and things. So I'm going to crack on because I haven't got a huge amount of time because my family and I are going to the pantomime. We're going to the theatre to see Beauty and the Beast, which I'm really excited about. So yes, I've got to get this done to show you all this so I can basically get sorted. I've washed my hair, I've painted my nails, I just got to style my hair and things, but then I just thought, you know, I'm quite dressed, quite relaxed at the moment, but yeah, I'm gonna get ready soon. So shall we open the Advent calendars first? So I've got the backstitch one, the first of the sewing calendars. It's a trim it item. It's a pom-pom kit to make a pom-pom gingerbread man. Oh, that is so sweet. And that would be incredibly quick to make, I presume. Now, there is instructions on the back on how you do this. So I think you actually make the pom-pom on him and then you have to cut it while it's on him. But I'll have to look at those instructions a bit more closely. But yeah, I'll try and get that done over the next day or two and show you. Yeah, maybe I'll try and film my hands doing it. That's fun, isn't it? So, what should we do next? Should we do my ideas one? Now, I've already had the idea to say go to the pantomime already, but we hadn't been. We'd been to the theatre, or we'd went to watch the ballet, a live stream, didn't we? But we hadn't been to the panto. So what are we going to do today? 21. Go for a winter walk is the one today. Now, as I go for a winter walk, it's actually 8 degrees here today. So it's not as cold as it has been and the sun is shining. But as it happens, today is the winter solstice, so it means it's the shortest day of the year, the shortest amount of daylight hours that we get the whole year. But that means as of tomorrow, the days will be getting slightly lighter. We'll get probably about a minute a day. It will get, you know, we'll have a bit more light. So that's really exciting, isn't it? You know, right up until the summer. So yeah, but winter walk, as you know, it's going to start getting lighter soon, isn't it? So I'm going to go to Barbie next. I seem to get into this routine, don't I? Backstitch my ideas, Barbie, and then print. Just seems to be my routine now, doesn't it? 21, and it's here underneath the penguin. What do you think it's going to be today? I'm not too sure. Oh, well, I've got no idea actually. Oh, let me show you. Can you see that? It looks like clothing. Oh, is Barbie getting her ski outfit? I think so. I think it's the day that her boots will have to come off. Oh, it's an all-in-one. And it's got Barbie on the front. Oh, that's fabulous, isn't it? Right, I'm going to pop that on her now. It's a shame that this doll hasn't got articulation on the knees. Her knees don't bend, or she hasn't got any, like, she's not got rubbery legs, and her knees that, and she hasn't got any knee joints either. However, I'm extremely happy that this doll was given articulation on the elbows and the wrists, because I really wasn't expecting that at all from an advent calendar doll. I thought it was going to be a bit more like a fashionista, you know, basic 5 points of articulation. Yeah, Barbies these days have various different articulation. Now we'll find out if Barbie has been eating any mince pies, see if she fits in this. Oh no, I think she's been having a great diet. The camera has dropped, hasn't it? I'm so sorry. Let me try and lift the arm up. Sorry about that. So there you go. There's Barbie in her ski outfit. So I'm going to put her ski boots on now. And she's got a helmet on. Yeah, she's definitely looking the part. Ready for winter now, isn't she? Right, we're going to open Prim. Oh, can you see in there? It's a cat. I've seen these. Is it magnetic? Hang on. Have a look. Oh, yes, it's a cat head or a fox, if that's more your thing. And it's a pin magnet. And you actually stick it to your sewing machine. It's got a sucker on it. And then that's a magnet for sticking pins on it. Oh, that's a lot of fun, isn't it? Especially for cat lovers as well. Oh, that'd be an exciting thing to use. I don't know if you can put magnetic things on your computerised machines. I'm not entirely sure. I've heard about putting magnetic things, but I have got manual machines that I could always use it on if not. So yeah, I'm going to leave that out because I'm going to attach it to a machine. So that's all the calendars. Yes, I'm really happy with what was in them today. So I'm going to talk about what I'm working on and things. Now I have just finished a knitting project which I'm going to show you in a moment, but I've not cast on another knitting project because I've still got my sock to work on. Now realistically, I know I'm not really going to get the second sock done now. I'll show you as far as I got. Be careful not to pull all my stitches off. I just managed to do the toe and I just started working. So basically that toe look, I just started working this bit. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to get this done for Christmas, but like I say, I'm not going to cast on another knitting project because I'm going to make sure I knit that, even if it's finished for after Christmas. I don't really mind. I'll just pop that over here for a moment. So I've got this in my... Oh, I'm getting all tangled here. So the yarn that I'm using is the West Yorkshire Spinners. I'm sorry, and Mary Angela gifted me the stripy one, so like a candy kind of stripe, and she recommended this one. It might have been called peppermint, but I can't quite remember, and I can't see the ball band in here unfortunately, so I'm really sorry about that, but I'm sure I've mentioned it in a video before. But because I've finished a crochet project, I thought, that's dropped, hasn't it? I'm so sorry. I bet you're sick of me saying that, haven't you? Every time I look back up, the camera's lower. So I've started another crochet project. However, I don't know if I'm going to put that aside to work on something else, because I remembered something when I was prepping for this video. I saw something and it jogged my memory. So this is what I've started. And it's basically the rim of a doll hat, you know, like one of the Toff dolls, and it's the winter one. I've bought the pattern down for you to see a photograph. So basically this is a project, it's apparently like 30 something hours, it says in the instructions. Now I just thought I'm going to start with the clothing, because I could always put them on my son's scuba dive Toff doll that I made for him. But so yeah, because he's dressed in his Bermuda shorts and his flippers and snorkel and things. It's not the time of year for it really, so he might want some more cosy clothing. So yeah, so basically I'm going to make all the accessories first, and then I think the doll will be my car project. Back when my children are back at college and school and things, the doll will be, because that will be, you know, just going round and round in, you know, a skin colour. So but I'm going to do all the little accessories because they look like there's a bit more to them. Like this, for example, you do half trebles in the front and back loop, and that's what gets this effect. So yeah, you've got to think about things a little bit more. So yes, so that's what I'll do in the house. So I'll pop that in there. So those projects you already knew about, because I have shown you that I'd bought the kit to make the cabin doll, and you have seen my sock before in the earlier side of Stitchmas. However, what has made me think, oh, should I really be doing this cosy doll? Because this is something for Christmas. Now, you remember last year I crocheted, and this spread amongst other people. Karen from So Little Time, it spread to her, and it spread on and on, of what wanted to make them. And I made 5 sprouts. And I made them in all just leftover green yarns. It's double knit yarn. So here's 4 of them, but there's a missing one. Now, they were to represent all the members of my family that live here, my husband, myself, and our 3 sons. However, my eldest son loved his sprouts so much, he wanted to keep it. And I said, look, I told him what I was going to do. They said, look, if you really want to keep it on your person, you can keep it, and I'll make another. And he said, yes, Mum, would you mind just making another, because I want to keep it. So I was like, fair enough. And what the plan was, now you've seen me make like Halloween in the past, Halloween knitted things that I've put on a wreath. But this is what I was going to do. I was going to put them on here, and then it never ended up happening. So I could do with having a dig around, see what greens I've got, and I'm sure I've got that pink cotton for the cheeks. Have a look at the eyes. I'll have to see what size eyes I used, and make another sprout. So yeah, I think I'm going to stop making that cosy doll's hat to work on a sprout, but I just need to check I've got everything I need to work on it. But that probably won't be today, because obviously I'm going out to the pantomime, so I'm not going to have time, am I? So now, I wasn't going to, as I say, I wasn't going to start another knitting project because I wanted to work on the sock. However, I have been slightly tempted. Now, you will know that I've been all year going on about Arnie and Carlos's balls, and it's their knitted balls I'm on about. and they first had this book called 55 Christmas Balls to Knit. Now, I've had this years and years. Does it have the date in here? 2011 when they brought this book out, and I think I had it shortly after. It might have been the year after or something like that. And I knitted a ball straight away, and I just knitted a plain one, which that's what they recommend in this book. Just knit a plain one just to get used to the pattern. I'll see if there's an example of a plain one. Well, there is an example of a plain ones, but they've used glitter in this book, look. Well, anyway, since then, it was this book, basically, I had it, knitted one, loved it, and then never knitted anymore. And then years and years have gone by, and every year, well, not every year, but some years, they bring out new release balls. Like, they bring out 24 for Advent. Now, they brought out 24 new ones for this Advent. Last year they did the Nordic sweaters, which I'm going to be knitting. The year before they brought out balls. They always bring out new patterns out at Christmas time, like stockings and things like that, and mittens. But so this year I thought I'm going to knit at 6. Well, I knitted 2 at the start of the year, and then I ended up knitting another 4 later on in the year. I'll pop a photograph on the screen. I'm sure you've seen them if you've been following me for a while. Well, I was out Christmas shopping with my husband yesterday, and I was sitting in a coffee shop, because he told me to go and save a table because it was a bit of a nightmare, and so I went and sat down, and he said. And I had an email, saying it was from Arnie and Carla, saying they've bought out another ball, and it's £2.50. And basically, for that £2.50, you get the pattern to make the ball. So the basic pattern plus a pattern to make a ice skater. You're going, I'm losing you. I don't mind if it just drops a little bit, but I'm losing you. And I bought it, didn't I? I caved. And I printed it out, and here it is. So I must admit, these don't take me very long to do. I can have this knitted up before Christmas. So I am sort of tempted. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So things are a little bit up in the air. I'm a bit all over the place because it's getting so close to Christmas now, and it is panic stations. Right, now I'm going to, on the sewing front, right, you know, I was telling you what I'm thinking about doing if I get time to sew. And if I get time to sew, I'm going to do one of these quick little pot projects that I got earlier in the year from Poppy to Fry. And I've basically got 3 pots and 1 zip up purse, is it? I know 4 pots, but they are different sizes, and a little zip purse. Now they look like free motion embroidery, like that thing that I do, but they're not free motion embroidered, they're printed pieces of fabric. So yes, I'm going to, if I get any time to sew, I'm going to just try and blast these out, which will be nice. And it's a good place to keep like my binding clips and things, and I've had some new ones, and my other things is a little bit overflowing. Now I don't think I'm going to make that top for my Christmas Day dinner now. Yeah, I've just decided, it's just, I think I'm a bit too busy with everything with Stitchmas and everything going on. I just think I might do more dressmaking once this is all over, my Stitchmas. I'll have a bit more, I need a bit more time to get, you know, be cutting out big pieces of fabric. So yeah, I think I'm going to work on that when it's all over. Maybe over Christmas do a bit of dressmaking, that would be nice. So I thought I would show you while I'm here is what I keep my DPN knitting needles in. Now this was the first zipped pouch I ever made many years ago, and I keep all my DPNs in it, and it's really good. So I tend to keep all my circular knitting needles in here. I kind of see this as my sock knitting. I didn't make this bag, by the way, with a fabric panel. The bag pattern was by the Crafty Gemini, and the fabric I think was a Debbie Shaw, and I think this might have been a Crafty Gemini pattern actually, that I followed many years ago, and so yeah, I'm going to show you what I've been working on. Now, as you may know, I have been making a little frog. So I'll show you the yarn that I've been using. I've knitted my frog in a 4-ply. Now this is what the label looks like. Alpaca socks, Lang yarns, 4-ply easy wash, and I think it's a mix. Yeah, it's 30% nylon, 70% alpaca, super fine it says. And I bought these 2 colours, a beigey one, an off-white it was called. Now I'll show you actually how different off-whites can be. And the other one, it doesn't tell me the colour in words on here, but it does tell me in, I'll show you the ball bands. Hopefully you can see the number on that one and the number on that one. So yeah, it's just a green in an off-white colour, but I don't remember what the actual name of this green was. I think I got those from Love Crafts. I got those from, and I bought the pattern for the frog off Love Crafts. Now I ordered this because I was going to knit it in this drops alpaca, that's the off-white, but I couldn't get the green colour to go with it. So I ended up, because I'd already ordered this, I didn't want to mix the two. I could have, but I didn't want to mix the two. So then I ordered the off-white in this. Now look how different these off-whites are. It does make a difference, doesn't it? Well, anyway, I started to knit the sweater, the rib band up in this. And then the jumper's supposed to be stripy, but I couldn't really match online the yarn. So I was going to abandon what I'd knitted and knit a jumper in cotton. But then I looked at what I'd knitted and I loved it all looking all lovely and fluffy. So I decided to carry on knitting the jumper in this and not do any stripes. So I've done basically an off-white jumper for my frog. And I'm going to show you. So you've not seen my frog completed, and obviously you've not seen the sweater, but ta-da! Now I don't know if this is the best way to show you on a video, or if I should do, you know, put my frog down and film my frog. But I suppose I'll do that for the end of the video. But oh, isn't she darling? Now this is going to be a little girl frog, and I'm calling her Freya. Freya the frog. And she's delightful, isn't she? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the jumper off so you can see her without it, and then we'll put it back on. Now this is flat knitting, but you do kind of go, you do it in the arms and the legs in I-cord, and you keep kind of, there's a lot of joints on it, so you keep doing like decreasing and increasing again. That's why the legs look all like they do. That's why when you put the frog down, you can really get the frog looking as it should. Now I think the designer kind of attaches, she stitches things down, but I wanted to leave mine loose. But isn't she darling? She's just so lovely. I'm so delighted. Now I know it isn't Christmas related, but I just couldn't resist because I saw Jules Hill's frog. She knitted it for her daughter Bryony, and I just fell in love. And she didn't say what the pattern was, and I had to ask her, and she told me. And yeah, and I just fell in love. So I use it. It tells you to use needle-wise. Needles, I think. Oh, you can knit it in 4-ply or DK. I've knitted in 4-ply, and obviously it depends on what needles you're using. I've used 3.25mm knitting needles. Now it is flat knitting, but I use my DPNs. I've written a note, look, 3.25 on the back. I did it with DPNs, and actually I find that extremely useful when I was knitting the arms and the legs, because you could do it in an I-cord style. So in the pattern it tells you just to keep passing the stitches over to the other needle and to keep doing that. But when you use DPNs, you slide them across, so it's way easier. Now regarding the sweater, I'll just pop my little frog down. I'm so in love. This is the little sweater. Now isn't it darling? And it's all fluffy because I've made it in alpaca. It's so nice. Now what, you do this on flat knitting. However, I got down to about there because you knit from the top, and I thought, you know, I'd rather do this in the round. So I ended up spreading my needles across, and then I started working in the round. So I did have to really think about the pattern quite a bit. When I got to the arms, I didn't knit the arms in the round. I have done that with Arnie and Carlos, like Magnus the Mouse, when I've done those and the knitted dolls, but I just knitted the arms flat. And then there are not many rows really, and yeah, and I just sewed those up under here after, but I didn't have to do any seaming at the sides here. I just had a little bit of seaming to do from about there up to the neck, because obviously I'd knitted it flat. You're going down. Look, my eyes are out of shot. These leggings, then, you know, they've got a few stains on them and things. I just leave these in the house. I might not want you to see them. You know, I could be, do you know when people go on a video and they only dress for the upper? That's kind of how I'm dressed. So I don't really want to go down to the bottom. But anyway, so yeah, I think it looks really lovely cream anyway. So I'm just going to pop this little sweater. Like, oh, and the eyes, the choice of eyes, they say either use 10mm or 12mm. I use 12mm. I ordered them from Cello Express, which is in Northern Ireland. And what else can I tell you about this? Any information? Oh, and they're gold. They're gold. I think they're dragon eyes, I think. Actually, I've got them here. Oh, cat eyes. 12mm cat eyes in gold. That's what I've used for my little Freya. Now I suppose in this beige colour, it could be a boy or a girl, but yes, I wanted a little girl, so maybe I'll end up doing another one, so I'll have a little boy and a little girl. But It's just truly darling, isn't it? And I think I'm going to photograph it. If you wonder what this is, these are the socks that I knitted last year. These are by Jules Hill, actually, the St Nicholas socks. They're kind of like house socks. And we won't talk about the yarn. I used the same yarn, but the balls were different, so they look slightly different. But I think I've been sitting little Freya on there, and I might photograph her on there. I might make a nice festive photo, mightn't it? So yeah, so is that everything I want to show? Yeah, I think that's everything I want to show you today. Obviously I've got to get tidied up now, and yeah, and get ready because we're going to the pantomime. So I don't know if I can take any footage there. I'm not entirely sure how it works really with the pantomime. I can't see a problem a few seconds, especially if I mute out the any talking and things. But yeah, I might end up getting thrown out, I don't know, but we'll just see what happens, what comes up at the end. So thank you so much for joining me for day 21 of my Stitchmas, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
What are you doing here?
Nothing.
Leave it alone.
I didn't touch